I'm Rick.
I'm Holly Hope.
And we're here at the old Hamilton County Jail, one of the most haunted places that we have ever been.
It's really interesting because you can feel a lot of residual just in walking the property. Like, literally had me retching, so that's great.
Yeah, but there's a lot of intelligent hauntings as well. We've gotten a lot of responses. And over here is where the last two hangings east of the Mississippi occurred. They built gallows for those because supposedly no one was hung in the tower.
The tower made for hanging. Even though there aren't any official records that talk about deaths going on inside the building, there's plenty of speculations on what happens on the outside.
And a lot of psychic mediums, myself included, have picked up on a lot of stories both inside and outside of the jail that have been confirmed by jail records or by the owner herself. Something very interesting is that they brought in ground-penetrating radar and have found bodies buried throughout this yard.
When I first walked on it, it was interesting because I saw these little sparkly spirals coming up. I didn't even know that there's people right here. Most of the information of who traveled through these doors has been concealed and hidden, and records destroyed or never created.
That's why it's so important for there to be psychic mediums who come to this place and learn those stories.
And it's often where they test out your psychic skills based on what you're able to receive from the house as it talks to you. Okay, ready? Ready? Go.
So let's go inside and check it out. Follow for part 2. Welcome. Once you enter the jail, you are in the family's living quarters. We have here a parlor and a living room behind you, and then a staircase that goes up to a second bedroom.
So outside, that tower that you saw, the hanging tower, this is the inside of it.
And there's no way to access the third floor. It looks just like an attic access. And again, there are no records of anybody being hung in this tower.
It also has me wondering, if you did have somebody you were going to hang from here, designing it, how would you get up there? How would you easily get down? There's a lot of questions.
Yes. So the last time I was at the jail, we spent most of the time in the actual jail. There was a lot of activity and a lot of stories there. But during this trip, this room has been incredibly active. You may have seen the doll from other haunted paranormal TV shows. We don't find it all that creepy, nor do we find it possessed or spiritual in any way. But we do think that there are children here who would enjoy playing with the various toys.
Even though there's a lot of activity and you expect to have a lot of paranormal interactions over on the jail side, it's interesting to think about how those who lived here and this was their home life and how they felt what was coming through the walls, what inhumane things were happening over there. And a lot of them have conveyed their stories on this side in a little bit of a softer setting. So we do really like this room for tuning in and having those conversations so that we can understand what it was like to actually live here and be here. And a lot of those stories that are definitely hidden and not brought to the public attention, or would they be?
There are a lot of noises and there are a lot of things that move, which is very exciting for, I think, paranormal investigators. But for the spiritual side of things, for me, it's a lot softer. It's not very in your face in this side of the house.
Usually they'll only come forward when they're asked specifically to, when they feel like it will help us to connect with them and to our own humanity, and perhaps shift some things so we don't lose that piece of humanity that was lost in a lot of the people who walk through these doors. So once you come in, you can go into the family side, or if you come through this parlor, you'll go back to the edge of the property.
To the kitchen that was added on, to the dining room, and most importantly, the entrance to the jail. Follow for part 3. As soon as you enter the jail here, you have the intake area as well as the women's cells. This is a place that I initially got goosebumps and chills. You may have seen a past video of the hair on my arm standing up next to this cell. There's an interesting story here.
We have a female prisoner who was here with her baby, and they even slid the crib in. And just being in this in springtime, it's extremely chilly. In the summertime, it's extremely hot. And it's funny enough because she's one who was accused of poisoning her husband, as the story tells.
But they released her without trying or convicting her because of the cold weather. She was forced to leave the state, but she never faced charges. And then you go upstairs to the men's section. Guess there were more men prisoners than women. Here we have one of the men's holding cells. It's one of the places that is very impactful to me. Very special and unique experiences here. Traumatic and gruesome experiences as well.
This is definitely one of those rooms where some of the most intense, heart-wrenching stories take place.
So a lot of the stories in this prison do have to do with segregation and the time period in which people were held here. There are separate cells for different races and different activity based on where you are in the prison.
And it's very interesting because you can tell a significant difference in the energy, in the types of conversations you're having, even with those who are still physical, when you step into a lot of these different spaces. Sometimes they'll evoke certain emotional responses, even with each other or within yourself, certain thoughts that come to mind. And that's kind of an indicator of showing us how there's different energies and different people and different spirits that still walk or sit in the cells here tonight.
That's great.
I could do newscaster.
No.